Okay, we're going to show you one more method called KickIT.
I don't like this method.
I'm not really fans of it because to me it smacks of a trick, and I don't really like teaching kids tricks unless there's real good mathematics behind there. And I think as we go through this conversation, we can see the mathematics. I just think it's so subtle that it's hard for the kids to understand it. And so what they're doing is memorizing
A trick.
a trick.
And it looks like magic math, so we do need to be really careful with this. This should not be the first thing we teach them with factoring.
No. And I think you really have to think about who your audience is for this particular trick. But what you're going to do is you're going to take the A and you're going to multiply it to the C. So you're going to get x squared plus 8x plus 12. And I have a problem saying that those are equal.
Well, they're not.
Yeah, exactly. So now I'm going to do my factoring method. My AC is here, here's 12, and here's my 8. So my factors that multiply together to make 12 and add together to make 8 are going to be 2 and 6. So I'm going to have x squared. Let's just go ahead and factor that. X plus 2, x plus 6. So now what I'm going to do is, I remember the 3 that we multiplied by the 12. We're going to now take that 3 and divide them out of the constants in both of those binomials.
Because they should know by now in Algebra 1, if we do something, we frequently have to do the inverse of it as well. So we multiplied by 3, so we're going to reverse that by dividing by 3.
Now this fraction simplifies, and so I'm going to have x plus 2, and this one doesn't simplify. 2/3 is a fraction. So what I'm going to do, and this is where it gets to be called KickIT, I'm going to kick that 3 up to the front, and that's how it's going to factor.
And what's really important is for them to understand that the first expression and the last expression are equivalent. The two middle ones technically are not. X plus 2/3 times x plus 6, or plus 6 over 3, does not equal 3x squared plus 8x plus 4. And that's why it gets a little bit fuzzy in the math and why it looks like a trick for the kids. Go.
I'm going to do a second example for KickIT, and remember we take our A that's greater than 1, and we're going to move it and multiply it by our C. We're going to rewrite our quadratic to be h squared minus h minus 6. So my AC is going to be negative 6, and my B is going to be negative 1. So we're looking for factors that multiply together to make negative 6 and add together to make negative 1. And so we know that it's going to come out to be negative 3 and positive 2. So we can factor this now to h minus 3, h plus 2. And now we're going to kick it. We're going to divide by that a that we multiplied. If we multiply it, we have to divide it. So I'm going to divide by 2. This simplifies to h plus 1. This I'm going to kick up, so this is 2h minus 3. And so this is the factored form of the original. These are not equivalent quadratics. Lynn made a good point before, and that was if you get a whole number in both of these terms, in other words, if this 2, the a divides into both of these terms, you had a greatest common factor that you didn't take out of to begin with. And that is one of the steps that kids forget to do, is take that greatest common factor out to begin with.
Yep.
And that's how it would affect this particular problem. Okay.
Go.
Okay, one last KickIT just to make sure that we have this process down, because it's probably different than a lot of us learned it. We're going to take our A that's greater than 1, and we're going to multiply it by C. So we get x squared plus 4x minus 45. So now we're going to factor the new trinomial, negative 45, positive 4. And we're looking for the factors that multiply together to make negative 45 and add together to make 4. We know that it's going to be difference because that's negative, so I'm going to have a positive 9 and a negative 5. So I'm going to factor this to x plus 9, x minus 5. And now I'm going to divide by that number I multiplied. I took the 3 and multiplied, so now I'm going to divide it. And this term simplifies. And I'm going to kick this term up to factor that. Okay, we're going to do one more KickIT, and you'll see why we really wanted to do this last step. We have 6 times 4, which is going to give us 24, so we're going to rewrite this as x squared plus 11x plus 24. The factors of 24 that add together to make 11
3 and 8
would be 3 and 8. Very good, I was testing you. Alright, that's x plus 3, x plus 8. And now we're going to divide by that term. And so I'm going to kick this term. Oh, wait a minute.
We should simplify our fractions first.
Yeah, we should. So we have x plus 1/2, and we have x plus 4/3. And so now in this case, we have to kick both of them. And so we get 2x plus 1, and we get 3x plus 4.
If we didn't simplify early, we'd have to take out a GCF to get there, I think.